This is Carmen Gentile. He's not a vet, but you're like a vet because you're a war correspondent. You voluntarily, have covered war in Iraq and Afghanistan. Why don't you tell people what happened to you?
Yeah, I was embedded with U.S. forces in eastern Afghanistan. This is in 2010, and just a few miles from the Pakistani border, and we were on a foot patrol in a small village in the province of Kunar, and I was talking to a group of young men on the side of the road, young Afghan men, and all of a sudden I was, in addition to my print responsibilities, I also shoot photos and videos. So I had my video camera trained on these young men, and I was talking to them. All of a sudden I see their eyes grow really wide, and I hear this whooshing sound from behind me, and I turn around, and just down this road, there was a guy shouldering a rocket-propelled grenade launcher, and he fired it right at us, and the ordnance came right to us, and you have a hard time believing this. It actually struck me in the side of the head without detonating. It just clanked off the side of my skull, hit the platoon leader in the elbow, and it just hit the ground. It blinded me instantly in my right eye and lacerated my eyeball and crushed all these bones in the side of my face. And after much rehabilitation, 4 surgeries, 12 pins, 4 plates in my head, and some partial restoration of my vision in my right eye, I went back to Afghanistan and started, I just resumed my
See what I mean about crazy?
reporting duties, and I've been doing it ever since. Yeah.
And you might have seen him. I know you've been all over the news on CNN and elsewhere. What is it about war that attracts you to it? Why do you want to go to these places and cover these conflicts?
I don't, despite all the time that I've spent covering these wars, I don't consider myself an expert on anything about politics, policy, strategy. It's the people. It's the men and women serving. I just want to tell their stories. Their stories are really interesting to me. The situations in which they find themselves, not just there, what's going on there, what's going on at home. I can relate to a lot of their difficulties, having spent so much time over there, and the toll it takes on you and the toll it takes on your loved ones at home. Those are the stories that really interest me.
Do you have post-traumatic stress? I haven't asked you that. I probably should have cleared that question with you. But do you have the effects of being around so much combat for so long? How does that affect you?
I think that question would be best answered by the people that have to deal with me on a daily basis. Yeah, it's difficult sometimes because, as everyone in this room well knows, you can't explain it to someone who hasn't been there. And for someone like me, whose job it is to explain it to people,
right?
There's still that disconnect
Yeah.
which I cannot ever overcome.
Yeah.
So it's good to always, when I meet someone that has had that experience, whether it's in Afghanistan, Iraq, or anywhere, any of these wars, there's that immediate sense of camaraderie and understanding that comes with it. So that's really important to me.
I know you have plans to go back to Afghanistan soon. Could you tell people about this crazy project that you have?
I'm working on a project. This is going to sound crazy.
Yeah,
but I do.
Because it is.
Yeah, I'm working on a project with a production team and another journalist who, like myself, likes to ride motorcycles. We are putting together a project to do a series. It would be a video series about riding, combining good storytelling and riding in places like Afghanistan, Iraq. Another place where I've done a lot of reporting is Haiti. We're going to go to the Ukraine and in several other places to try to give people a different perspective and try to entice people to actually care about these stories. For all the pain and suffering I've been through in Afghanistan, I still think the country is beautiful.
You still love it?
Oh, it's a gorgeous country. There's beautiful rivers and valleys and mountains, and it would just be a wonderful place to visit were it not for the last 4 decades of war.
Of war, right.
Yeah, so.
Thank you so much, Carmen, for coming today. I hope you'll come again.
Will do.